Hello everyone, welcome to my Alien Isolation, Nightmare difficulty, no damage, no human kills walkthrough, and this is Seegson Synthetics, which is a very boring section of the game, and we are dealing with humans. Awesome. They're a very fun enemy type to fight, right? No, they aren't. And this section here is prone to scripting errors if you end up being detected by the enemies. If you get spotted at any point in this sequence, the whole scripted moment where the Xenomorph comes in here to kill these enemies will not happen. So you need to use the crouch exploit if you want to move very fast, where you just keep repeatedly pressing the crouch button so that you move a lot faster. But don't use it immediately, because there's one guy patrolling, you saw him just then, he is a problem, so you need to move immediately once he gives you his back, and then start using the crouch exploit, because the two guys on the left can sometimes spot you. The humans on this section are randomized every time, there's no telling where they will be. I mean, the two guys who are talking with each other are always going to be talking with each other, but their placements are different at certain points, and then that guy who's walking around is different each time, but this guy right here is always the same. And once you're up here, remain crouched at all times, because the humans will be able to hear you if you end up walking when you're not crouched. And that flare right there, on another playthrough after I did this walkthrough, I went to that same location, but the flare wasn't there. And it doesn't matter, because the loot you get from the enemies or from any dead bodies can be very helpful in substituting for that. And that's something I need to bring up. The loot on this game is randomized each time you play through this game. But the chances of you getting back the same exact resources are pretty high, considering that there are a lot of areas to loot. So don't let that get to your head too much. But you'll notice right here, I'm just speeding up the video to about 4 times speed, because as long as you are just walking and not making any noise, the Xenomorph never comes down from the vents. And because of that, I'm just sped up the whole entire video, because you're doing absolutely nothing. There's no threat here. All you're doing is just booting up this requisitions android so that he'll give you access to the components warehouse, and this will allow you to gain access to the compression cylinder that you need to repair the elevator. And this is also an opportunity for you to get some loot from these compartments over here. But I don't think it's necessary for you to loot these compartments, because you'll still be able to get these resources back. Because I think what the game does is it utilizes a system similar to Outlast, where in Outlast 1 and in Outlast 2, the game would automatically generate batteries if you didn't have enough batteries for a section. And this was very helpful in allowing you to use the system to your advantage. Like, for instance, if you have 0 batteries after you do the encounter with Chris Walker in the male ward, you will be able to spawn in 2 batteries inside of an elevator before going out into the courtyard area. And this system can be utilized in other areas of Outlast 1 and Outlast 2. And I think this game utilizes a similar system, where if you don't have enough loot in your inventory, the game seems to increase the percentage of chance of finding items that are contained on dead bodies or inside of boxes. So in actuality, there was really no need for me to search these compartments. I'm just showing them just to get guaranteed resources. But once you picked up the compression cylinder, you're free to go back into the main area where the humans were. And because the Xenomorph actually did what it was intended to do, because I did not get spotted by these enemies, it killed the humans. So feel free to loot their bodies for loot. They might have loot. If you have too much loot, maybe they won't have any loot. But replace the compression cylinder and get down the elevator. And I had to make a checkpoint here, because this section right here is bullcrap, because the humans are so poorly programmed in this section. They're random in where they will go after a couple of seconds upon initially entering this room, and they can spot you for no reason at times. The strategy that I'm demonstrating right here is not what you want to do. You do not want to go on the right-hand side. You want to go along the left-hand side, and you'll want to move from cover to cover to ensure that the humans don't spot you too quickly. And did you notice that I did the lean just then? So if you hold L1 and you move the left analog stick, you have the ability to lean. Do not use the lean too much, because the enemies can actually spot you while you're leaning. And the thing with the humans on this section is they have ridiculous range on their vision. They can spot you from across the room. And do you notice their positions right now after a couple of seconds of me entering this room? That's not guaranteed every time. If they happen to set up in a position where they will be able to spot you as you are making your way to this door, it's going to be a lot harder to get past these guys, because there's no telling what they will do. There's no telling if they will just resume their neutral state, and there's no telling if they will choose to just come down and just come and investigate you, just to try to kill you. It's bullcrap, and because elevation is not a factor to consider when it comes to the aggression of these humans, it's just broken. It's really broken. And on this recording, one of the humans does spot me, but he actually chooses to go back into a neutral state, so I got very lucky just then. If he had decided to come down this corridor, I was already dead. And there was nothing I could do at that point. But when you get over to this vent right here, this is where the humans are going to be. But I get very lucky here because these humans are not looking my way. If you want to avoid this random aspect, I recommend using your maintenance jack and smashing a wall right near the vent. That way they'll go and investigate and you'll know that they're leaving the room because you'll hear the door open and that indicates that they've left the room, and this gives you an opportunity to get into this area right here. And once you've gotten inside the elevator, that will be the end of Seegson Synthetics. Before I conclude the commentary, I'm going to show you my updated strategy. So my updated strategy for that room I just did is I'm going to hug the left-hand side, and I'm just going to go from cover to cover when I'm making my way over to the humans. I did not use the manual save point to my advantage. I actually did this without having to restart the checkpoint whatsoever. So, did you see that just then? The Xenomorph can appear here sometimes and take out one of the humans. So there are times when there are 3 humans, but the Xenomorph will always take out 1 human so that there's only 2 left. And did you see that just then? Why did he fire his weapon? What was he shooting at just then? I had a couple of moments like that when I was trying to obtain my original recording for this section, where when I reached a particular threshold of this room, one of the humans would shoot one of these panels that are just hanging off the ceiling right here, and then they would resume their neutral state. Makes no sense. But you see right here, they move towards each other, and they put themselves in a very awkward spot. I don't know why they decided to path towards each other. Like I said, the humans on this game are just so poorly programmed on this game. But as long as you move from cover to cover, and you take a bit of a breather before you move between each of the cover points, you should be fine in getting to this spot. But I used a distraction right there, and this will lure the 2 humans away. The door just opened, and now is my chance to move. So, this has been Seegson Synthetics. Stay tuned for the future parts. Thank you all for watching, and you take care now.